Hello, my name's Keith, and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about guardian angels and their rankings / placements. Oh Lord, my angels are going to help me teach this video because this is a tough topic to talk about. That's my belt. So, when it comes to guardian angels and their placements, it's kind of complicated. This is a more complex video, but if you truly would like to know about what kind of angels are there out there, because when I say there's this angel, there's that angel, and like you just said there was another angel the other day. How many angels are there? And I've only said like 7 of them, and people are like, well, if you actually read the Bible, there's a lot of angels. There's as many demons as there are angels. So you really have to keep in mind that there's a lot of angels. As above, so below. You guys don't know. What you don't know is that a lot of angels that will introduce themselves to you are not angels you'll ever find online. Some of them maybe. So let's keep in mind that, there's a lot of angels. There's literally basically angels governing certain planets, angels governing and these angels are ones that interact with humans as well. So there's angels governing the sun, angels governing the moon, angels governing Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Mercury. So there's Venus. There's angels governing all the planets, even Pluto, and there's so many different planets and angels associated with just those planets. For example, there's angels of zodiac signs, such as Ambriel for Gemini. So there's angels that do multiple different things. And yes, the angels are very happy that I'm talking about this. So, for example, I can't remember this off the top of my head. For example, you think there's one angel that governs the wind when it's Uriel, but Michael governs, for example, the north wind, and I can't remember this by mind. The north wind, I think it's Uriel the south wind, Gabriel east wind, Raphael the west wind. I forget the pattern. They said for me to check up on it later. They want me to not overwhelm myself. Actually, it's not. My angels basically said that we want you learning it, but to not overwhelm yourself, and it's a fair point. So, in essence, it can get really confusing, and the same thing applies to you guys. The angels basically say for you guys to study it slowly. The suggestion is to study it slowly and to not intake it too fast, because you'll get confused. So what the point you should get out of this video is there's a lot out there, and one angel's rank is different than what humans describe the rank as, because there's no language in English. I mean, there's no human language that can really describe their ranks, because their ranks are multidimensional. So this should be a little confusing, but it lets you know that what we think as angels is way more complicated. For example, Saint Michael the Angel is the number 1 angel, but he's more than one rank. So there's, of course, cherubim, seraphim, oraphim, all these different rankings of angels, but only a certain amount have access like that to humans in talking to us and literally relating to us. So, for example, seraphim should not ever be around humans unless they're watching over the humans. They won't even talk to the humans. They won't open their mouths. They won't talk. They have a job, and it's not to interact with humans. I asked my angels, can I communicate with the higher ones? They're like, they don't really communicate. They're not guardians like that. They'll watch over you and they'll protect you, but that's what they're doing. They're not going to talk to you. That's just their assignment, and they follow their assignment perfectly. They love doing their assignments, but when we get into that side, those angels they're basically different. So when we're here, we're doing a lot of learning, so we don't really have business talking to angels that are not helping us learn. Does it make sense? So Saint Michael can be the number 1 angel in more than one way. So he's technically everyone's guardian angel, because even bad people, he's a guardian to people, some of the worst people, in different ways. So you can be behind the shield or in front of the shield. That's how I like to teach it. So Saint Michael, for example, he's watching over you, or he's watching you. So it's kind of confusing to teach, and I have to make sure I teach 100% correctly, but if you're a horrible person, and Michael said I'm teaching it correctly, so thank God. If you're a horrible person, he's basically, you're going to be at the edge of the sword, like, hey, don't move, make this move, and you're in trouble. Or if you're a person of God and you're doing things correctly, and this is going to be a very good question. If you're basically a person of God and you're doing everything right, you're going to be behind the sword. You're going to be like, he's going to protect you. The other person at the other end is going to be someone who's not of God. So what happens? What happens when you're a really bad person but you're craving light and you talk to St. Michael, or you're asking St. Michael for help? He's going to help you, but he's going to kind of parent you. He's going to like, stop doing that. Stop stealing. So if you steal, you're going to get slapped like a parent who cares about their child when they steal. And will you do it again? I think not. The pucker face. It's like, I think not. You probably won't once you get slapped. You'll know it's him. You'll know. He'll tell you, and then you'll know. And then after that, he'll tell you again, and he'll be like, stop doing that. For example, if you're, if you steal, and like, let's just say you go to a bakery and you leave with the bakery, and you didn't pay for the bakery, then you're gonna pay when you leave. So he cares about you and loves you to the point where when you walk out of there, you might not get caught, but you're gonna get caught by him. What happens if you're a horrible person and St. Michael's you're watching over you? Same thing will happen, but in a much harsher way. Yeah. So I've had people, and this is really interesting. I've had people like, for example, do really say things they shouldn't be saying, and they're like, I feel this presence, and I know they're feeling Michael, and I'm like, but you're not. I mean, he's basically just letting you know. He's letting you know what's going to happen next. Because if you look at it and people are like, oh, Saint Michael would never do that. Numbers chapter 22. It's not Baylor, and I wish I could remember names better. It's Baylor and I wish I could remember that. Okay, I'll get to it later. But Baylor and his name's not on the tip of my mind. My angels are not helping me with the name. They're just like, come back to it later. Okay, fine. So basically, if I draw a blank, they want me to sing on a different topic. So basically, St. Michael was ready to just cut someone down because they didn't listen to them. They didn't listen to God, basically. And that person, and the biblical figure, I wish I could remember his name. It starts with a B. Balaam? Maybe. Okay. So basically, he didn't listen to God, and St. Michael was standing in the way of his path, about to cut him down. Like, basically remove him. So St. Michael has also, in other cases, scenarios, just basically like anyone who's bad in the way of people of God, because we're in a war. You've been born into a war of light and dark. So St. Michael is going to watch over you, or if you're going to be a bad person, he'll make sure you get on the right path. If you don't decide to ever go on the right path and you want to go, you decide to go to eternal hell, he'll be the guard that protects you from other people. So 3 mechanisms. Now, let's talk about other guardian angels. This gets super in-depth. You have guardian angels you don't even know you have. It's usually 1 or 2. So you have the big guardians and what I call the medium guardians, who act as, and they do some of the most work. Like, they do the most communication with you guys, and you don't know who they are. They are very selfless and very loving, but you sometimes never know who they are. That's why when you work, basically, for the people who've gotten a custom necklace from you already know. So after a while of wearing the custom necklace, you'll start hearing angels that are just like, wait, who are you? It's because you have these angels that never ever reveal themselves until a certain point. And it's wild. Some of their names, it will not be written in books. They'll just have names because they're not documented. They're your personal angel, like your friend between, basically one of your closest friends between the afterlife of your other lives to this life. So for the people who get a custom necklace from me, I actually, after a certain point in time, I'll be like, okay, this angel's around you, and they're like, they're Googling it and looking it up, and they're like, well, who is this? And they'll just be like, and yeah, there's a fly just trying to come near me, but they'll be like, who's this? And for example, I'm gonna ask one of the medium guardians to give me their names. For example, Ezekiel. Ezekiel's a very he's a medium guardian, and he's just, I mean, he's a medium angel. He's not someone you'll find in the Bible. It's not Ezekiel the prophet. It's not basically, how I can explain this is tough to explain. You have a bunch of guardian angels that you don't know that are around you, but there's the one that's the closest to you. So in essence, he works with Michael. So it's Michael plus a guardian that you don't know is there, plus a whole bunch of other bigger guardians, such as the main archangels. And this guardian can be a regular angel or an archangel, and that's where it gets confusing, because not every not every angel is an archangel. But let's talk about some of the lower angels, because this is super confusing to teach. The angels kind of they're like, teach us the best you can, because you'll just reteach it later anyway. Like, okay, cool. And I'm teaching this 100% accurately. So basically, you have lower guardians, like lower guardians, like little guardians, and they're basically, I don't want to say that they're the laborers, but they work as like a network, like they kind of ants together. So basically, you see ants in a colony, and just because they're lower doesn't mean they don't have glory like that. They have lots of glory, but they're just doing different tasks. So they're doing micro tasks. For example, one guardian that you don't even know exists, is a little guardian, will literally fight for you to see a certain angel number. Like he'll work around the clock on the day to make sure you're seeing angel numbers. The next guardian will move a branch out of the road for you. But they're working in teams. So let's just say, and you have to keep in mind, Saint Michael is the leader of the army. So the army has different ranking sergeants. So they have the top ranking, and just because in like the army, like the actual army, you have people who are at the very bottom, but they're still very important. That the army can't function without the people at the bottom, or the whole thing would just kind of like collapse. So in essence, it's the same thing, and the same as above, so below. So everything I'm saying applies to the enemy as well. Although the enemy is very scattered. The enemy fights each other more often than you think. So, do you want to know how the enemy works? It's not the enemy, it's the enemies. So, when it comes to angels, there's the Most High God, Lord Jesus Christ. So basically, the angels serve him because it gives them glory, because that's where their souls lie, purity. When it comes to the enemy, there's no devil. If you look at the Bible, it's devils. As devils. There's no Satan. There are Satans. So there's the accusers. So over time, people have made the enemy, basically the enemy. When I say the enemy, I just categorize, because it's not one demon performing the task. If you even talk to a demonologist, there's no Lucifer, there's Lucifers. There's no Satan, there's Satans. So I've talked to demonologists before. I'm just like, I've tried to convince them out of doing it, and they're just like, well, they age fast. They age fast. They all age very fast. That's all I'm gonna say. They age because the demons are taking their energy. So the demons are basically using them as a tool. But that's another topic for another video. So when it comes to demons, if you ever make a demon mad, they're like, they basically, all a demon can do is, they're very good talkers, and they'll try to talk something into your head that you manifest. Like, well, you'll have a good day tomorrow then, because you're gonna need it. We're gonna bring backup. So demons are just all talk. They're extremely weak. once Jesus shows up, they scatter like cockroaches when the light comes on. So I'll teach more about demons in the future, but they work as a network, so do angels. So as above, so below. If you guys have any questions, ask them in the comment section. To have your own custom hand-tailored gemstone necklace from Florida Stone Man, you can DM Florida Stone Man on Instagram. Those come with spiritual mentoring for life. You can also check out floridastoneman.com. You get the world's best gemstones from Florida Stone Man. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.